Bear with me a minute.
It's a life we're living and we own it, it's no joke. Yeah, it's down to us to use the moment. I ain't blowing smoke. Been through the bad days and the bad days, but I'm still a growing bloke. Sat in the sun rays, but the bad days could make a grown man choke. But we all know that feeling in the bottom of our stomach when the good days turn to bad days in the passing of a moment. But we ain't gotta win in every moment, cause each moment has the power to inspire a totally new moment. So our mindset is the power that we need to invest in. If we utilize our hours, we can make it interesting. I ain't here for likes and followers, I'm showing my hand. I'm sick of all this domination by the hand of man. So let us grow and we can stand up strong in our power. We can show the generations we ain't rolling over. We can generate more hope if we show that we won't be separated, so we all unite and we flow. We show our power when we stand up together.
Peace in, folks. How you doing? Use the force. Positive mental attitude. Yeah, we do. So, started to switch it up there. And, you know, if you listen back to that, if you manage to listen to the lyrics, you know, I really want to see some good change for us internally, right? Because there's a lot of, it's a bit too much ceiling there. We're going to bring you down. We're going to bring you down. There you go. There you go. I don't like there being, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I like a nice amount of headroom, not too much. So, you know, the hook on that, we're stronger when we stand together, right? It's just a mix-up on United We Stand, right? So I've started that document, right, called A Declaration of Humanity, right? Facebook group is open, starting to get active. Got about, I think, 13 members in there, but we've been having a little bit of a chat, nothing serious, but you know, it's a start, right? So I'll leave the link in the description below. But so obviously I've also, and you know, true to what I always do, and that's just basically going online and trying to instigate conversations with more of a progressive means to it. So, you know, this is actually about, let's really say what we know, what we think, what we feel, how we perceive something, right? And let's consider other people's delivery of the same thing, and let's try and actually constructively go, well, look, this and this can work, right? That and that can work. This and this can work, right? Well, can we actually agree on the workings of this? Can we agree on the workings of that? I'm keen. So I've obviously been in a couple of groups, had a couple of chats, had someone this morning who was particularly standoffish, you know, which is fair enough, right? You know, be as standoffish as you like. Disagree as much as you can, please. But, you know, let's not be dickheads about it. Do you know what I mean? And thankfully, this person wasn't. So I'm not taking some sly jab. I don't do that. If I thought he was a dickhead, I'd have just outright said this geezer was acting like a right dickhead. But he wasn't. I think because I'm thinking big, this isn't about England. It's not about Europe. This is about humanity. Do you know what I mean? Like when you look at history, right? I love history, right? And I'm not talking. Like when you start to look into history, you start to realise how small the glimpse and the narrative that most of us are taught in the only education we ever get, which is school pre-16, right? Because let's face it, most of us don't go to college. I think the numbers are larger of people that don't go into higher education than not. I could be wrong. I'm guessing. So, hey, feel free to correct me. Feel free, right? I'm just guesstimating, right? And I'll call it there. Do you know what I mean? See, I'm not just going to fucking chat shit and not say I'm chatting shit. But, you know, point is, what was I saying before I called myself? We're basically talking about the declaration. See, this is why I'm not the leader. And I don't think there should be one, because all of us are flawed. With the best intention in the world, I'm 420 friendly, baby. My short-term memory's not that great, but I've got lots of other strengths I'm happy with. So I was saying about document. I'm talking about talking with other people about it. I was going right into a point, wasn't I? I'm just going to have to bin it because I can't remember what the point is. It's not coming back to me. So there you go. Happy Sunday. But it doesn't matter, right? Because my overall point is the same. So I can lose my mini points because there is a bigger point. And that is what I'm putting forward, right? This document is not me going, agree to my idea. I'll be your submissive leader. And you can support me for the rest of my life. No. What I'm doing is going, the old way doesn't work. We all know that. Let's make a new one. Right? And if no one else is going to, like, around me, right? Because there's people all over the world. There's revolutions happening all over the world. There could be stuff going on in England that I'm not aware of. Because I'm fucking new to, like, getting my boots into some activism, right? I've been doing this my whole life. Just speaking my mind around people, right? And the more I've got informed, the more I've had to say, the less people have wanted to hear. It's a sucker, isn't it? Because the more you know, the more you want to talk with people about it. Right? So you can bounce things out. Get like some crazy shit out of your head that you've seen and you're like, that was nuts. And you speak to someone else about it and they're like, yeah, mate, you know, and I looked into that bit and there was not even any credibility to that either. And and it helps because you can sift through the bullshit, right? You can sift it out when you talk. That's why it's good to talk. And this is why I'm trying to encourage a space where we can have constructive communication, where we just outline some fucking common courtesy. It's like, you don't get to call me a dickhead because I believe that there should be no leaders, whereas you believe that we should have leaders. Now, if you think we should have leaders, you should give me your argument as to why, in a constructive conversation where we actually want to achieve something, right? And then I hear your argument. I don't call you a dickhead because I disagree. I, in turn, give you my reasons as to why I think there's an alternative way to leaders, right? And it's nuts that we've even got to try and encourage this, right? But unfortunately, social media was, let's face it, a bit of a surprise. And a lot of people very quickly got to saying some shit that we generally don't say when we're in front of each other. There's more common courtesy that happens. There's a mutual respect because you're right there with each other. And so you don't say and do these rude things that have become fucking common practice on social media, right? So I'm calling for a, not even like a soft fucking fluffy bunny safe place. I'm calling for common courtesy in a grown-up conversation, which is what I want to fucking have, right? I can be a little kid, right? Like, I can be a child, but I can be an adult. I can be a grown, informed person who's prepared to be wrong, who's not looking, what I want is just progression for all of us that we're happy with. And I believe there's a way of getting to that. I refuse to see hurdles as a stopping point. It just means if I wasn't running fast enough the first time to get over it, then I need to go back and run a bit faster and jump a bit harder, right? So that's what I've been doing for years, is running at the hurdles and jumping over them. And then I started thinking, well, maybe I should just look at the solutions. Right? Because I had this feeling that we could destroy the hurdles if we all started focusing on the solutions and just moving towards them. Yes, hurdles are going to get in the way. I'm not a daydreamer. I'm not a moron. Right, I've given it thought. I know I'm going to face kickback, right? I know because I've been speaking out for years in one way or another. And I know that you get kickback every time you push on something. So, you know, the kickback will come. There's going to be some people that are going to call me an idiot. There's going to be some people that try and tell me I don't know what I'm doing. The police trolls, the military trolls. I don't know if the royals have trolls. Wouldn't fucking surprise me, but I've got no fucking proof, evidence or otherwise about it. It'd just make sense, you know, being that the police have trolls and that the army have trolls. You'd think that royals and such like, you know, big corporations would have trolls going out there messing with the people that oppose their, you know, their consumerism, whatever fashion that comes in, right? So I want to have the conversations, right? And so I go out looking for them, and I'm going out even more, you know. Thankfully, and I was really thankful that Save Our Rights UK allowed me to post the document, the first draft of an idea of a document, right? Cool, just got tinnitus. Right? The first draft of an idea of a document, right? This is what it is. This isn't me saying I'm the leader, agree to my terms. No. The group, right? A declaration of humanity. Yes, you have to agree to be polite to each other. Because I'm sick of people being needlessly rude when I'm trying to have a constructive conversation. So, let's just talk about it, right? Tell people about it. Say this geezer's starting this thing. It's not like I think nothing's been done before. It's just that when you look at history, nothing's been working. Leaders don't work. They get corrupted by the power that we allow them to have over us, and it sends them crazy. So what are we doing giving people the power when it sends them nuts? We're sending people crazy. We're sending people crazy, right? Power corrupts absolutely, and absolute powerlessness does the same. Big up a Carla. Right? So if 99% of the public are walking around powerless, we're walking around corrupted. So, I suggest that we share the videos that I make, that we talk about the things that I say, not because I'm right, but because I'm starting some conversations that I'm not seeing happening. So let's have them, right? I'm not saying these conversations have never happened over time, and I'm not even saying that they're not possibly happening right now in towns around you. But I'm not involved, and I'm getting involved. So I'm involved in the conversation, and I'm dragging everyone else into it, because that's how I've always done things. That's how I've been trained since I was young by my mum. Is you don't just boss a conversation up and tell people what's what. It sometimes feels like I'm doing that. And I get that. It's just that I'm passionate when I speak, and I fucking go, bruh, and I say some things. And I always want someone else to say something back. And, you know, more often than not, someone does, and sometimes it's constructive, sometimes it's not, and all types of various situations on various topics, right? So, I'm not the wannabe leader, right? I'm not some scammer. You can check me out, right? I'm just a guy, right? I've been a builder, if you want to label me, most of my life. I've also been deeply involved in fucking self-progression and self-awareness and personal growth. And I've done a fuck ton of, like, information finding. It's the best way I can now put it, to feel honest about what I'm saying, because research is a bit too... I feel like I'm putting real researchers down if I say that I do research. I do in a way, and it's fair enough, but if I wanted to be picky, I'd be like, I find information, and I normally find researchers independent, objective. Everyone's got a narrative, right? Everyone's got a narrative. So even me, right? My narrative is I want a fair go for all of humanity, regardless, and I want done with all this oppression, domination, right? It's a clear message. I give it all the time. I wrap it up in self-awareness, right? Because I love all of it, right? And we need change, and we need to do some new ways. And I truly believe that if we can eradicate the need for leaders with a system that works based on agreed documentation, then we basically give a simple outline for humanity, and the law system can take care of the rest, because there's always going to be crime, but we're up on that time. So I'm going to say to you, use the force. Positive mental attitude. Be kind with your thoughts to yourselves like you would for others. Keep loving your hearts for yourselves like you would for others. And let's get it. You know what, John? Awareness, of course.